Welcome to this hard Bible quiz on sin. There will be 10 questions and you'll have 10 seconds to answer each question. So let's begin. Number 1. What sin is Cain remembered for? A. Lying. B. Murder. C. Greed. D. Excess of alcohol. You have 10 seconds. The answer is B, and you can find this in Genesis 4 verse 8. Number 2. What sin did Noah commit after he began to be a man of the soil? A. Anger. B. Coveting. C. Adultery. D. Drunkenness. You have 10 seconds. The answer is D. Drunkenness, and you can find this in Genesis chapter 9 verse 21. Number 3. What sin stopped Moses from leading the children of Israel into the promised land? A. Hitting a rock twice. B. Punching someone. C. Worshipping a golden calf. D. Blasphemy. You have 10 seconds. The answer is A. Hitting a rock twice, and you can find this in Numbers chapter 20 verse 11. Number 4. What is the only sin that can't be forgiven? A. Attacking the high priest. B. Treason. C. Murdering innocent children. D. Blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. You have 10 seconds. The answer is D. Blasphemy against the Holy Spirit, and you can find this in Matthew chapter 12 verse 31. Number 5. What sin did Achan commit? A. Slothfulness. B. Adultery. C. Theft. D. Lasciviousness. The answer is C, and you can find this in Joshua chapter 7 verse 1. Number 6. What is the root of all kinds of evil? A. Money. B. Love of money. C. The heart. D. Pride. You have 10 seconds. The answer is B. Love of money, and you can find this in 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10. Number 7. What was the first temptation of Christ? A. To kill Judas. B. To become king of the world immediately. C. To jump off the top of the temple and be saved by an angel. D. To turn a stone into bread. You have 10 seconds. The answer is D. To turn a stone into bread, and you can find this in Matthew chapter 4 verse 3 and Luke chapter 4 verse 3. Number 8. What sin did Gehazi commit? A. Greed. B. Lust. C. Fornication. D. Envy. You have 10 seconds. The answer is A. Greed, and you can find this in 2 Kings chapter 5 verse 20 to 27. Number 9. What did Judas get in return for the betrayal of Jesus? A. 10 pieces of gold. B. 30 pieces of silver. C. 5 camels. D. A gold coin. You have 10 seconds. The answer is B, 30 pieces of silver, and you can find this in Matthew chapter 26, verse 15. Number 10. According to Peter, what covers a multitude of sins? A. Love. B. Animal sacrifice. C. Money. D. Kindness. You have 10 seconds. The answer is A. Love, and you can find this in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8.